How to manifest without force, fear, or chasing. Introduction. The life that waits for you. There is a life waiting for you. Not the one you were told is realistic, not the one you were conditioned to accept. The one that lives in the quiet moments, when you dare to imagine what could be. This is not a book about positive thinking or wishful hoping. It is about something older and more exacting: conscious creation. The art of aligning your inner world so completely that the outer world has no choice but to reflect it back. Why this book exists. I have walked the path from unconscious living to deliberate creation. I know the frustration of knowing what I wanted and having no idea how to close the distance between the wanting and the having. I know the confusion of moving from technique to technique only to arrive each time back where I started. What changed everything was a single recognition. Manifestation is not about getting what you want. It is about becoming who you already are. This book is the map I wish someone had placed in my hands, a complete path that carries you from wherever you stand now to living as a conscious creator of your reality. What you'll discover. Chapters 1 and 2. Foundation. You begin with unflinching honesty about where you are, then make direct contact with the deeper self that has always known who you are beneath the roles. Chapters 3 and 4. Discovery. You learn to tell the difference between desires that are truly yours and those that were installed in you, and you come to understand the forces that resist your becoming. Chapters 5 and 6. Method. You take up the three-realm process of creation and learn to recognize the pitfalls that quietly derail most people who attempt this work. Chapters 7 and 8. Practice. You receive a complete daily right for holding alignment, and you learn to move with inspired action instead of forced effort. Chapters 9 and 10. Integration. You learn to return to your original frequency, and finally to cross from seeker to source, living not as one who takes from the field, but as a contribution to it. How to use this book. Read it once to understand. Read it twice to integrate. Keep it near to return to. Each chapter rests on the one before, so resist the urge to leap ahead. The transformation lives in the sequence, not in any single idea pulled out of it. Do the exercises. They are not suggestions. They are the work itself. And above all, apply what you learn as you learn it. This is not entertainment. It is initiation. The promise. Walk this path completely, and you will not merely change your circumstances. You will change the frequency you create from. You will move from hoping to knowing, from chasing to attracting, from reacting to creating. This is your invitation to the life that waits. Let us begin. Chapter 1. Your You Now. Reality as Mirror. Before we travel anywhere in this book, into the unseen, the sacred, the visionary, we begin here. With what is real, with what is lived, with what is already unfolding in your life. This chapter is not about imagination or potential. It is about observable truth, your present identity, revealed through the effects it has produced. How you spend time, where your energy moves, what your money supports, what your life keeps repeating. No metaphysics is required yet. Here we work only with evidence, logic, pattern, the plain record of your days. This is triangulated truth. What the process gives you is a mirror, not a flattering one, but an honest one. You are not being judged. You are being shown. This is your effect self, the version of you that emerged from repeated choices, reinforced beliefs, inherited programming, and the strategies you built to survive. If you are ready, we begin with an audit. Be honest, be curious, be kind, but do not be soft. Section 1. The Lived Self. What your life shows. These are the undeniable signals of who you have become. The aim is to see, without excuse, the patterns you have lived, so that you can move them with power. 1. Time, the great revealer. Ask, what do I spend hours on without being told to? What absorbs me so fully that I lose track of time? What do I delay, even when I insist it matters? Time reveals your true priorities, not the ones you announce, but the ones you prove. Time does not lie. It points to what you serve. 2. Energy, your inner compass. Ask, what lifts me, even when I begin tired? What drains me quickly, even when it shouldn't? Where in my body do I feel light, and where do I feel heavy? Energy is feedback. It flows toward alignment and withdraws from falsehood. The body never lies. It speaks before the thoughts catch up. 3. Money, the silent tracker of commitment. Ask, what do I always find money for, even in scarcity? What do I resist paying for, even knowing it matters? Where has my money actually gone this past year? Money is emotional. It reveals your quiet commitments. You may say you value a thing. Your spending proves whether you do. 4. Environment, your outer self-portrait. Look around you. Is my space clean, chaotic, sacred, or neglected? What do I keep close? Tools, books, clutter, distractions? What am I holding on to, just in case? Your surroundings mirror your inner order and your boundaries. What you see outside is often the shape of what is happening within. 5. Traits and proclivities, your survival personality. Ask, what do people always say about me? Which traits do I display, and which do I hide? Do I manage how others see me? Personality is part design, part defense. You became someone, by choice or by necessity. It is time to look honestly at both. 6. Emotions, your inner weather. Ask, what emotion rules most of my day? What feeling do I avoid entirely? When I am alone, what emotional tone returns? Emotion is your true frequency. It is neither right nor wrong, but it is a powerful attractor. Know it. Do not shame it. 7. Relationships, the mirror of self-image. Ask, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? What patterns keep recurring in my relationships? Do I feel seen, valued, ignored, or used? Relationships reveal your unconscious agreements. They show you who you believe yourself to be and what you believe you deserve. 8. Inner voice, the director of your story. Ask, what do I say to myself when I win and when I fail? What phrases run in my head when no one is listening? Is my tone supportive, critical, neutral, or cruel? Your self-talk is scripting your reality. Your identity follows your inner narration. 9. Looping patterns, the echoes of unseen beliefs. Ask, what challenge keeps returning in new disguises? What kind of people or problems do I keep drawing in? What feels cursed or stuck? Loops are not your enemy. They are feedback. They reveal what remains unhealed, unseen, unresolved. Until they are seen, they repeat. Section 2. The Mask and the Motive. This is the part of you built to survive. The masks, the roles you have mastered, the fears that shaped you. It deserves your love and your honesty. 10. The role you play. Ask, am I always the helper, the achiever, the rebel, the peacekeeper? What happens if I stop? Who am I without the role? Roles protect, and then they imprison. They keep you safe, and they keep you small. 11. Your deepest fear. Ask, what truth about me do I fear others discovering? If I succeed, what am I afraid I will lose? If I fail, what do I believe it says about me? We are rarely blocked by a lack of skill. We are blocked by the fear of exposure, rejection, or collapse. 12. Inherited beliefs. Ask, what did I absorb growing up about money, love, God, power, failure? What beliefs were handed to me by religion, culture, family? Which do I still obey out of guilt or fear? Most beliefs are not chosen. They are absorbed. And they run your life until you question them. 13. Looping storylines. Ask, what story do I fall into when I am hurt? I'm always too much, no one stays, I ruin everything. Where did that story begin? Who first taught me to believe it? These stories comfort you and they cage you. When the pain arrives, the story replays. Learn to break it. Section 3. Desires that break through. Beneath all the programming, something sacred remains, your real self trying to emerge. Desire is not selfish. It is spiritual. It is your blueprint whispering through the noise. 14. The call. Ask, if fear did not exist, what would I create or express? Whom would I help, lead, or build for? What would my ideal day feel like? Desire is often quiet, but it is always true. You do not need to solve it yet. Only acknowledge it. 15. The whisper. Ask, what truth about myself have I always known and always avoided? What do I pretend not to know because knowing it would change everything? The soul always whispers. Stop drowning it beneath noise, addiction, and perfectionism. Section 4. Hidden and avoided. Here we look at what you have hidden, from others and from yourself. These are the places that generate resistance, confusion, and self-sabotage. 16. Body awareness. Ask, where do I feel stuck, sore, or numb? When I am triggered, what part of my body reacts? The body feels what the mind denies. Listen early. It warns you before the mind can rationalize. 17. Escapes. Ask, what do I use to numb discomfort? Scrolling, eating, overworking, controlling, fixing others. What brings relief but not healing? Escapes are not sins, but they postpone your freedom. Comfort is not the same as peace. 18. Contradictions. Ask, where do I say one thing and live another? What values do I claim but routinely break? This is not about guilt. It is about congruence. When your values and your choices align, power returns. 19. Unspoken truth. Ask, what am I not allowed to say? What have I bottled up? Whom would I confront if I were not afraid? Suppressed truth becomes dis-ease. You need not explode, but you do need to express. 20. Avoided choices. Ask, what decision have I avoided for months or years? What am I waiting to feel ready for? Avoidance is a disguised no. It robs your future by freezing your present. 21. Future fear. Ask, if nothing changed, where would my life be in 5 years? Is that a future I would choose? This is not a scare tactic. It is a waking mirror. If the path does not change, neither will the destination. Final integration. Now gather every reflection from this audit: your time, your emotions, your traits, desires, roles, fears, truths, and contradictions, and complete this sentence. I am someone who... Write it raw. Write it honestly. For example, I am someone who hides my needs, overperforms, resents in silence, and secretly wants more. Or, I am someone who longs to feel free, sabotages closeness, dreams of creating beauty, and fears being seen. This is not your final self. It is your current reflection, and the moment it is seen, you are no longer it. You have become the observer, the chooser, The cause. You have met your you now. We begin from truth. Chapter Reflection. Before moving on, sit with what surfaced. Which patterns surprised you? Which truths did you try to avoid? Which desires felt most alive? The deeper you are willing to go here, the more profound everything that follows becomes. Chapter 2. Know Thyself. Locating the real you. You began by looking outward, at how you spend time, where your energy flows, what patterns repeat, what your life reflects back. Now we turn inward, not to add knowledge, but to remember what was always true. This is not a theory, a belief, or a borrowed idea. It is a direct experience, your first clear contact with the real you. Not the name on your passport, not your roles, your history, or even your personality. The deeper self. The one that remains whether you are winning or losing, speaking or silent, seen or unseen. Let us meet it now. The ancient command. Long before the modern forms of religion, psychology, and philosophy, two words stood at the threshold of the sacred. Know thyself. In the classical world, they were inscribed at the forecourt of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, the first of the Delphic maxims. An older stream of teaching holds that this injunction descended from the mystery schools of the Nile, carried out of Kemet, ancient Egypt, and the kingdoms of Kush and Ethiopia into the Greek world. Whichever river you trace it up, the command arrives at the same door. Before a student could be trusted with higher knowledge, they had to answer one question first. Who are you? Not your story, not your lineage, not your memory. The self behind the self. Let us find it, not by thinking, but by experiencing. Exercise 1. Who just spoke? You are about to meet your soul. No candles, no music, only awareness. When you reach the count of 3, say these words silently, within your own mind. Know thyself. No movement of the mouth, no sound. Only the silent voice within. 1, 2, 3. Know thyself. Now ask, who just spoke? Your mouth did not move. Your ears heard nothing, and yet you clearly spoke, and clearly heard. That silent voice is you, not the surface you, but the deeper one, the part that exists beneath every role, thought, and noise. You have just met your inner awareness. The observer, the witnessing consciousness, the soul. Exercise 2. Vision without eyes. Close your eyes. Call up a specific memory from your past. Now imagine a beautiful future moment you would love to live. What just happened? You saw images, yet your eyes were closed. So who was seeing? You were, not with the physical eyes, but with the inner sight. That inner vision is the native seeing of your soul. What is the soul? Let us define it plainly. Your soul is the invisible you. It hears your silent voice. It sees when your eyes are shut. It witnesses your thoughts, your feelings, your whole life. It is the still presence behind every experience. You need not believe in it. You have just used it. Imagination, the language of the soul. You were told imagination is fantasy, a child's game, a waste of hours. That is false. In the older teachings, imagination was sacred, the very language of the soul. The word imagine is built from image, to form an image from within. Through imagination, you revisit memory, shape new visions, glimpse possible futures, and send signals into the field. It is not a distraction. It is a projector of spirit. Who you really are. Let us be exact. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the one experiencing them. You are spirit, a conscious being, temporarily wearing a human form. Your vehicle includes a body made of atoms, a brain that stores and calculates, a nervous system that carries signals. But you are the driver, not the car. You are the one behind the thoughts, behind the eyes, behind the heartbeat. Where are you? Not merely in a city, a body, a role. You exist within the ether, an invisible field of energy that fills all space and joins all things. It has carried many names: spirit, the source field, the living matrix, the quantum field, the divine mind. Call it what you will, it is one thing. It surrounds you, moves through you, and answers the signal you send. What the ether does. The ether is not sentimental. It is functional. It works like a mirror made of energy, returning to you your own frequency, your state of being. Not your words, not your stated wishes, your deepest beliefs and emotions. It does not parse language. It does not judge. It reads your feelings, your assumptions, your expectations, your inner state, and it composes a matching outer experience. The truth. You are already broadcasting. In every moment you are sending a signal, and the ether is already answering through the people you meet, the events that find you, the delays and the breakthroughs. This is not punishment or reward. It is reflection. You are a broadcaster, and the world around you is your echo. The only real question is whether you are broadcasting on purpose or by default. When life feels stuck or chaotic, it is not personal. It is a feedback loop. Change the signal, and the reflection changes with it. How to live this daily. Recognize the silent voice. That is your true self. Speak to it daily. Take 1 minute a day to say, silently, I am, or know thyself, and feel it rise from within. Watch the inner voice. Is it loving, fearful, doubting, encouraging? Use imagination on purpose. See what you desire, not what you dread, and pause before reacting. Ask what you are feeling and what you are broadcasting. Final reflection. Reintroduce yourself. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Say silently, I know who I am. Let it echo. Then open a blank page and write, I am the one who. Let the words come from stillness, not from the mind, not from performance, only from truth. This is your first written message from the soul. A note from the older path. In the mystery temples, a student first read, Know thyself upon the wall, and was then instructed to speak it silently within. Once they had spoken without lips and seen without eyes, the teacher would say, You now know the self behind the illusion. Only then could they cross into sacred knowledge. You have just crossed the same threshold. Welcome to the deeper you. Chapter Reflection. What did you discover about the observer within? How did it feel to touch your inner voice and inner sight? This contact is the foundation of everything that follows. The more you strengthen it, the more powerful your conscious creation becomes. Chapter 3. Know thy true desires, not the ones given to you. You have been taught to want things your whole life, by family, by school, by media, by the culture around you. But what if most of what you believe you want is not actually yours? The trap of adopted desires. We live inside a world designed to tell us what to value, what to chase, what success should look like, what kind of life is worth living. The conditioning is subtle and relentless. It does not shout. It whispers over and over until it sounds exactly like your own voice. Here is the danger. A desire that is not truly yours will always end in emptiness. Even if you reach it, it will not feel like a rival. You will feel numb, or worse, exhausted and confused about why the prize meant so little. It is because you were pursuing someone else's blueprint. Desire has 3 locks. To know what you truly want, you must consult 3 centers of intelligence within you. Real desire lives only where all 3 say yes. The mind. Clarity. The mind builds frameworks. It compares, analyses, and makes sense of things. It can look at an idea and say, "This is viable, this holds together." But logic alone is not enough. Many clever ideas fail, not because they were foolish, but because they were born of fear, trend, or compensation rather than truth. A desire that lives only in the mind will one day feel like a job, not a joy. The heart, love. The heart asks a single question. Do I love this? You may have a flawless plan laid out, but if the heart doesn't warm to it, the thing will die a slow death. The heart tells you whether the vision is beautiful to you, whether it carries your particular frequency. If it does not, the desire is not yours. It is noise from the world. The gut, fire. The gut answers when mind and heart agree. It is your ignition. When the gut is lit, you move, not from discipline, but because the thing burns in you. This is the knowing, the sudden certainty, the "I must do this," the sense that you no longer care whether it is hard. If the gut has not stirred, the idea has not yet reached deep enough into you. How the Matrix hijacks desire. When the world hands you a desire, it often glitters at first. Here is how you know it is borrowed. It fades quickly. You struggle to begin or to stay with it. It feels forced or like something you should do, and you care more about how you will be seen than how it truly feels. Many spend years chasing manufactured goals, the 6-figure business, the perfect body, the influencer's life, and remain unfulfilled because those desires did not rise from the soul. They rose from the fear of being left behind. The true desire test. To test any desire, ask 3 questions. Mind, does this make sense? Can I see a path? Heart, do I love it deeply? Would I do it even if no one ever praised me? Gut, do I feel the fire to begin now? When all 3 say yes, you have found gold. Stillness is the gateway. You will not find your true desires in the noise. They rise in stillness, not while you scroll, not while you compare, not while you chase. They surface in the quiet, when the mind is clear, the heart is open, and the body is listening. In that space, a small voice says, "This is why you came. That is the desire you follow. Everything else is a distraction. Let the world chase its trends. You came to build something sacred, a life that is truly yours." Chapter Reflection. Which desires survived the 3-center test? Which fell away under the mind-heart-gut filter? Notice how different an authentic desire feels from a conditioned one. This discernment is essential to everything ahead. Chapter 4. The Matrix. What resists your becoming? You arrived in this life with purpose. You carry a particular energy, particular desires, an inner wisdom that leads, when followed, to fulfillment and to power. If that is so, why do so many people feel lost, uncertain, and trapped in routines that do not serve them? Because we are each born into something hidden, something few are ever taught to see. Many names have been given to it. We will call it the Matrix. What the Matrix is. The Matrix is an invisible system of control woven from beliefs, fears, distractions, and the pressure to conform. It shapes how most people think and feel and act without their ever noticing. It is not a film or a single institution. It is a web of unconscious programming handed down through schooling, culture, religion, media, family, and social custom. It tells you what is normal, what is realistic, what is possible, and what you are permitted to want. From early on, you absorb its refrains. Play it safe. Success means money. Do not stand out. You cannot trust yourself. You are not enough yet. None of these came from your soul. They came from a system built to keep people asleep, cut off from their own power. How it works. The Matrix operates through 3 mechanisms. Distraction. It drowns you in noise. Endless media, notifications, drama, restless goals, pulling you outward so constantly that the inner stillness where your guidance lives begins to feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. Doubt. It floods you with thoughts that feel like your own. Who am I to do that? That's not realistic. I'm not ready. But which are only echoes of conditioning. The Matrix whispers fear in the grammar of logic. Dependency. It teaches you to seek your worth, your permission, and your rescue outside yourself, in jobs, experts, partners, authorities, because a dependent person is easier to keep quiet. Why it resists your freedom. Your true desires come from your higher self, the part of you joined to source, to truth, to creative power. Follow them, and you stop needing approval. You step into sovereignty. You grow steady and inwardly guided, and you can no longer be easily controlled. So the Matrix offers substitutes, safer and smaller. Love becomes attention. Peace becomes comfort. Purpose becomes productivity. Freedom becomes luxury. You are nudged to chase what is popular rather than what is aligned, and it leaves you empty. The Matrix is also a mirror. Here is the insight most people miss. The Matrix does not only trap you, it reflects you. It returns your inner state to you as outer circumstance. Believe yourself powerless, and it shows you situations where you seem to have none. Believe yourself unworthy, and it keeps you among those who confirm the story. It does this not to wound you, but to wake you. The law of polarity. We are working now within an old body of teaching, the Hermetic tradition, the philosophy attributed to Hermes Trismegistus and later distilled into a set of universal principles. One of them is the law of polarity. Everything exists in pairs of opposites, light and dark, rising and falling, confidence and fear, abundance and lack. To know one, you must be able to recognize the other. So when you resolve to become a new version of yourself, more confident, more loving, more powerful, the Matrix will often present the opposite first. You may feel afraid, you may lose something, old patterns may flare, you may wonder whether change is even possible. This is not punishment. It is the universe asking, in the only language it has, are you truly ready to become the one who lives this way? These moments are not walls. They are frequency checks. Why we are here at all. You did not come to drift through life. You came to remember who you are. Your soul chose this dimension of contrast on purpose, because here you learn through experience. Here you develop mastery over thought and speech. Here you learn to direct energy and to move matter with clarity. Physical life is the training ground for spiritual mastery. We each begin beneath a veil, forgetting who we are and why we came, and in that forgetting we loop through unconscious patterns. To break a loop, something must interrupt it, and often that interruption arrives as pain. Pain is not the enemy. It is the teacher that cannot be ignored. Not every lesson must hurt, but many do at first because pain forces awareness. It brings the unconscious to the surface. It shows you where you have been living on autopilot, where you have been betraying yourself, and what no longer belongs to you. 2 ways to live within it. You cannot step physically outside the matrix, but you can choose how you live within it. On the victim's path, life happens to you. You react, you blame, you feel powerless, you wait for rescue. On the creator's path, life happens through you. You meet each event with awareness and choice, and you turn every experience into fuel for your becoming. The turn begins the moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this showing me about myself?" You do not escape, you rise above. Awakening is not fleeing society, retreating to a cave, running from life. It is becoming so clear, so grounded, so present that the matrix loses its grip. You stop reacting and begin choosing. You stop believing the fear and begin trusting your guidance. You stop needing permission and begin living from your own truth. When thought, feeling, and action align, you become a different frequency, and reality bends to meet it. Moving through it with power. Be still each day, sit in silence, breathe, listen inward. Truth needs quiet to be heard. Welcome the contrast. When a challenge rises, do not panic, but ask what it is showing you about who you used to be. Embody the new self now. Do not wait for circumstances to shift before you walk, speak, and choose as the one who already lives the life you desire. And do not take the tests personally. When the old world reappears, smile. It is a sign that you are in transition, not a sign of failure. You did not come to obey. You did not come to settle. You did not come merely to survive. You came to remember, to create, to lead. The matrix will test you, and every test is an invitation to rise. Hold your inner alignment no matter what appears outside, and the illusion begins to dissolve, leaving the life that was always meant for you. This is not escape. This is mastery. Chapter Reflection. How do you see the matrix operating in your own life? Which forms of distraction, doubt, or dependency do you recognize? To see the pattern is the first step toward rising above it. Chapter 5. Your good work, becoming a conscious creator. Manifestation is not a vague wish or a hopeful prayer. It is a structured, multidimensional act. It is the cause, you, speaking with clarity, intention, and commitment across the layers of reality. To create consciously, you must understand and work within the 3 realms of creation. The spiritual plane, the realm of frequency. This is the realm of energy, of knowing, of vision. Here the desire is already fulfilled. You do not beg. You feel it done. You tune your inner world to the state of already having. This is where the seed is planted. The mental plane, the realm of focus. This is the realm of thought and belief. What you attend to grows. Where you place your attention, you place your power. Here you train the mind to stay loyal to the vision. The physical plane, the realm of action. This is the world of doing, where intention becomes motion. You move, you build, you engage with time and form. Every action, large or small, sends the signal, I am not waiting, I am becoming. The sacred sequence. The order in which you move through these realms is everything. You do not act first and hope for a result. You do not try to force belief through effort. You begin where reality itself begins, in spirit. Spiritual, then mental, then physical. First, the spiritual. Set the vibration. This is your source signal. Before you do anything, you enter stillness. You visit the finished thing in feeling, in imagination, in knowing. You let the body feel what it would feel if this were already true. This is your energetic blueprint, the seed of all that follows. Second, the mental. Frame the thought. From that vibration, you instruct the mind. You build language and focus around the vision. You repeat the thoughts that agree with the feeling. You make yourself unavailable to contradiction. You guard your attention like a sacred flame. Here you shape the lens through which the physical world will resolve. Third, the physical. Walk it out. Now you act, not to make it true, but because it already is. You take bold, calm, committed steps that match the energy and belief you have already set. You are no longer trying to manifest. You are simply walking out what you already know to be yours. This is confidence in motion. Why the order holds. Spirit sets the tone. Without aligned frequency, all effort scatters. Mind gives it structure. Without belief, the signal from spirit fades. Body makes it real. Without action, nothing takes form. Begin in energy, flow into thought, then move into form, and you send a coherent broadcast. The universe answers swiftly because there is no contradiction in the signal. You are not praying for change. You are becoming it. Painting with desire. Think of it as a sacred art. From spirit, you choose the color. With mind, you select the brush. Through body, you lay the stroke. Your good work is a mural across time and space that says, "This is who I am. This is what I choose." For now, breathe into one truth. You do not need to chase what is already yours. You need only align with it and act from the knowing that it is done. Chapter Reflection. Practice the three-plane sequence with one small desire. Begin in spirit. Feel it fulfilled. Move to mind. Hold the thoughts that support it. Then take one physical action that matches the energy. Notice how different this is from forcing or hoping. Chapter 6. Pitfalls on the path. Manifestation is not only knowing what you want, it is aligning with it. Most people who struggle do not struggle because the law fails. They struggle because they unknowingly work against it. Here are the most common traps, so that you can recognize and release them. 1. Wanting from lack. When desire is soaked in desperation, you vibrate the absence of the thing, not its presence. "I want it so badly" sends the message, "I do not have it." Move from needing to knowing. Feel gratitude for what is already yours in the unseen. 2. Doubting the process. Doubt is an invisible wall. Your words may say yes, while your energy says no. Hoping it might work broadcasts, "I'm not sure it will." Cultivate certainty instead. Saturate the subconscious with repetition and evidence until belief becomes automatic. 3. Obsessing over it. Turning the desire over all day does not help. It usually reveals the fear that it will not come. Replaying it endlessly signals it is still missing. Declare it once, feel it fully, and let it go. Trust releases. Obsession clings. 4. Negative thinking. You cannot build a dream from the bricks of fear and pessimism. Your inner world composes the outer one. Choose thoughts that match the reality you want, not the one you are trying to leave. 5. Inaction. Manifestation is not passive. Waiting is not creating. Visualizing without ever moving signals, "I don't believe enough to act." Move as though it is already yours. Even small steps build momentum and faith and open doors. 6. Impatience. Frustration with timing cuts the flow. You do not bake bread faster by opening the oven every minute. Why isn't it here yet? Broadcasts it isn't working. Trust the unseen. Focus on becoming the one who already has it, and let timing arrange itself. 7. Chasing money instead of the life. Money is a symbol, not a destination. Fixating on it often triggers stress and unworthiness. Go straight to the result. Feel the home, the journey, the freedom, and let the universe choose the delivery. 8. Buried beliefs, guilt, shame, and unworthiness quietly repel what you consciously desire. Wanting abundance while believing I'm not enough sends keep me small. Clear the inner noise through journaling, shadow work, honest reflection, or affirmation, and rewire the baseline. 9. It's not meant for me. Many imagine some authority deciding who may have what. This keeps them submissive. If you can imagine it, it is meant for you. You are the authority. You do not need permission. 10. Controlling the how. Fixing on a single route blocks countless others. It has to come through this job, this person, this loan. Signals only this way is acceptable. Be precise about the result and flexible about the path. The universe is more inventive than you are. 11. Forgetting the feeling. Words do not manifest. Feeling does. The field does not answer what you say. It answers what you embody. Affirming without emotion broadcasts I'm pretending. Become the one who already has it, and feel it into being. The bottom line. The law is always on. It does not skip or fail. But when your energy, beliefs, and emotions fall out of alignment, your reality reflects the misalignment faithfully. The correction is never try harder. It is always feel deeper. Shift from striving to receiving, from control to confidence, from need to knowing. Chapter. Reflection. Which of these have you fallen into? Choose the 3 that ring truest and make a plan to meet them. Awareness is the first movement of every transformation. Chapter 7. The Daily Rite of Alignment. There truly is another life available to you, a life of alignment. Not the illusion of success, but real joy, clarity, and freedom, where mind and heart and gut all say yes. But this life has a gate, and the toll is not negotiable. You must lay down all inner contradiction. You cannot carry resentment, fear, guilt, confusion, or divided desire across the threshold into the life of your vision. That is the price. What follows is a daily rite for paying that price, for returning to alignment quickly, and for building the momentum that makes a conscious creator. Treat the hours below as a rhythm, not a cage. The sequence is sacred. The clock is only a scaffold. Rise when you rise, and let the movements fall where they fit your life. What matters is that you choose your state each day before the world chooses it for you. Upon waking, the 10 desires. Before you speak or scroll, sit up and write the 10 things you know you want. Not passing wishes, not what you think you should want, but the desires that leave the gut calm, the heart warm, the mind clear. Your truth will always feel like relief. Then, gratitude. Write 3 to 5 things you are already grateful for. This grounds your energy in present abundance and settles the nervous system. You are not creating from lack. You are expanding what is already good. Then, the inner vision. Sit still for around 20 minutes. Begin with a few deep breaths. Feel the body. Become present. Then bring each desire gently to mind and imagine yourself living it, in color, in sound, in motion, in feeling. Play it like a film, without forcing it. When warmth or joy or peace arrives, stay there. These are your instructions to the unseen. The emotion is the ink. The stillness is the page. Then, the spoken word. Aloud, declare each of the 10 desires as already true. I am fully supported and thriving. I live in the home of my dreams. I walk with purpose and peace. Speak as one who already lives this way. Then, the card. From the 10, choose the 5 that feel most alive in your spirit. Write them on a card and carry it. This becomes your reset through the day. Through the day, return to the card. At intervals, pause and read the 5 slowly. Let an image or a feeling rise. Breathe into the state. Even 30 seconds is a genuine realignment. Before sleep, the evening loop. Rewrite the 10 desires. Read them aloud. Choose one, and watch it play out once more in the mind. Then fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. You are impressing the subconscious in its most open and fertile hour. When you are triggered. Sometimes the world will poke you. A person, a memory, a thought will pull you toward fear or old pain. Instead of reacting, soothe the mind gently. We are going to a new place. That is only an old version of me. Have no fear, all is well. I am making a new way now. I am the cause, not the effect. I have wished for a new reality, and that reality is forming now. My inner belief has already completed it in the unseen. The outer must reflect the inner. Divine timing is arranging every piece in my favor. I do not need to force or chase. I trust, I allow, I hold the state. All is well. We are safe. We are becoming. Then read your card again. Feel the emotion. See one desire unfolding. Stay until the nervous system calms and the frequency resets. This is the practice. This is mastery. The price is surrender. This is not always easy. You will fall off. You will forget. You will react. The veil returns only when you forget who you are, and who you are is the cause, not the effect. Let this rite become as ordinary as hygiene. You would not skip brushing your teeth for weeks. Do not skip brushing mind, heart, and gut into alignment either. If you stop, the old life returns, not as punishment, but as reflection. The world does not answer effort. It answers your energetic signature. If it feels off. If the rite feels forced or false, it is usually because something on your list is not truly yours. A real desire feels peaceful and alive. The joy of a child awaiting a surprise, not the strain of proving or chasing. If an item feels heavy or rooted in compensation, I need to prove I'm worthy, pause and feel. Ask the body, do I truly want this? Does it feel like joy or like fixing a wound? Adjust as needed. The clearer the desire, the smoother the flow. Done consistently and with feeling, this simple rhythm becomes the most powerful reality-shaping practice in your life. The aim is not merely to acquire things. It is to become someone who naturally aligns with what they desire. And that version of you already exists. Your work is to make the inner shift and let reality catch up. Chapter Reflection. Commit to this rite for 30 days. Notice how your inner state changes, how your outer circumstances begin to move, and how your whole relationship to desire evolves. This is where theory becomes transformation. Chapter 8. Move when moved. Mastering the moment. There is a paradox that trips many on this path. They either flow too much or grip too tightly, and both stall the arrival of what they want. Do not retard your progress by going with the flow, and do not strangle the flow by trying to control it. Flow is not passivity. Control is not power. You are meant to dance with reality, neither to sleep through it nor to throttle it. Those who wait too long wait forever. Those who push too hard delay their own grace. The key is to move when moved. Signs and synchronicities. When repeating numbers appear, 111, 222, 333, or other meaningful coincidences arrange themselves around you, you need not analyze them endlessly. The psychologist Carl Jung gave this experience a name: synchronicity, the meaningful coincidence of an inner state with an outer event, joined by significance rather than cause. You do not have to decode every instance. Take it simply as confirmation. Things are shifting. You are in motion. The field is answering. Keep walking. Stay present. There is no need to freeze in analysis. Seize what appears. If something appears before you that answers your heart's true desire, take it with both hands. Do not be stunned. Do not hesitate into overthinking. It is there because you called it in, and sometimes it is there for only a moment. Pause in indecision, and the doorway may close. Return to the same spot later, and the energy will have moved on. Life rarely knocks twice with the same rhythm. It speaks when you are listening and moves when you are ready. When it appears, move. Intuition is the voice of the soul. You may feel a nudge to go somewhere, to speak to someone, to begin a thing, to change direction. Do not wait for external permission. That feeling is not random. It is the inner world directing the outer. Act on it. Those who master the creation of their reality do not wait for perfect conditions. They move when the feeling is strong, even when logic calls it irrational. This is not recklessness. It is responsiveness to the soul. You are already in the effect. In your waking hours, you already stand inside the effect of earlier causes. This is the crossing, where reality catches up to your inner work. And it is easy to lose your footing here, to wonder and second-guess and hesitate. But that is like planting seeds, and then digging them up because nothing has sprouted yet. You are not waiting for the miracle. You are walking through it. Be wary of asking, "What should I do?" You already know. Stay steady. Keep the focus clear. Hold the feeling of faith. Move when compelled. Act when inspired. Speak when the heart stirs. Buy the thing. Make the call. Turn the corner. Trust the moment. Even when it feels quick or bold, if it resonates with the heart, it is yours. You are in the effect. Remain as the cause, and what you have summoned will arrive. The pattern of aligned movement. Watch those who live in constant flow with life, and you will see a pattern. They do not wait for guaranteed outcomes or every step laid out in advance. They understand that inspired action is light. It feels joyful, electric, sometimes even a little frightening, but unmistakably alive. What is heavy, forced, and full of dread is usually not aligned. Manifestation rarely arrives as one grand gesture. More often it comes through narrow windows, brief flickers of opportunity, not to pressure you, but to activate you. That spark of excitement is your compass. That quick lift of energy is the next breadcrumb. Even a detour will still move you forward. You will rarely feel entirely ready. That is not the point. The point is to move, to act, to shift the field. Movement clarifies. Action reshapes the road ahead. Delay is the mind's final trick, whispering logic dressed as safety. But the heart always knows that now is the moment. Walk boldly. Those raised in powerful environments are not taught to hope. They are taught to assume. They do not ask, "What if it doesn't work?" They ask, "How long until it arrives?" Their certainty is not a bluff. It is a broadcast, and their world reflects back what they already believe is theirs. This assumption is the true inheritance. Generational strength is not sustained by assets alone, but by the belief system that produces them. Even after loss, those who carry the inner blueprint rebuild with ease, not through effort, but through vibration. And this frequency is not genetic. It is not reserved for the few. It is available to anyone who chooses to remember. You were taught to manage expectations. Your real power lies in assuming the wish fulfilled and living from that state. So move when moved. Take what appears. Follow the whisper. Trust the signs. Your destiny is not far away. It is arriving now, flashing briefly like lightning through cloud, and it is yours to take before the sky goes dark again. Chapter: Reflection. Recall a recent moment when you felt moved to act and hesitated. What might have happened had you moved at once? Learn to feel the difference between inspired action and forced effort in the ordinary texture of your day. Chapter 9. Return to the original. Nature as the frequency reset. Nature is the original state. Before noise, before cities, before commerce and clocks, there was nature. Still, alive, balanced, endlessly intelligent. The trees did not rush to grow. The rivers did not question their direction. The stars did not wonder whether they deserved to shine. Everything simply was, and everything was in order. You were born of that order too. Nature is the original frequency, and when you immerse yourself in it, even briefly, you remember. You remember that your essence is not bound by obligation or worry or survival. You remember that life is not to be endured, but harmonized with, that nothing forces the flower to bloom. It simply blooms. Environment mirrors. Inner state. The environment you place your body and mind within becomes the echo chamber of your consciousness. Concrete, crowds, and artificial light are not evil, but they are dense. They carry the vibration of human intention, often hurried and confused, and over time that frequency seeps into your field. In nature there is no agenda, no manipulation, no distortion, only life. And it is there, among trees, near water, beneath open sky, that the static clears and your signal returns to purity. The nervous system slows, the thoughts loosen, the body enters repair and receptivity. This is not merely poetic, it is energetic. The earth carries charge, the sunlight codes information, the wind moves with intelligence, and you are built to receive all of it. A preferred environment supports creation. It is not weakness to prefer peace. It is wisdom. Your environment either supports or suppresses your ability to hold a high frequency, and a high frequency is where assumption becomes reality. A preferred environment is simply one where you feel safe to relax, breathe, and imagine freely, without interference. That may be nature itself. It may be a spare and beautiful room. It may be a space that already reflects your future. Wherever it is, make it intentional, clean, charged, alive. Let it carry the vibration of what you are stepping into, not what you are trying to escape. Place your body in spaces that nourish your spirit, and the mind clears, the energy steadies, and the feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes effortless. The practice of assumed perfection. There is a deep magic in expecting that everything will unfold perfectly, not from arrogance, not from naivete, but from alignment. To assume that all will be well is not to ignore difficulty. It is to know that even difficulty carries guidance, to trust the intelligence of the unfolding. Hold that assumption in nature or in any high-vibration space, and the whole field relaxes. You step out of resistance and into receptivity. You stop trying to control every detail and begin to let life rise to meet your inner certainty. In that calm expectation, you not only create faster, you suffer less while you wait. Bliss is not chased, it is accessed. Bliss is not something you pursue, it is something you reach. It lives behind the static, beneath the noise, past the mental fog. You do not have to find it, you only have to clear what obscures it. Nature does this for you effortlessly. It returns you to the original signal, charges the body, harmonizes the thoughts, softens the breath. And in that softening, you feel it again. The quiet joy, the subtle awe, the smile for no reason. This is not escapism. It is a return to your natural setting. The body recharges in high-frequency fields. Your body is an instrument, forever tuning itself to its surroundings. As certain devices charge simply by resting near a source of energy, the body does the same in the right environment. In nature, you receive the most refined form of energetic nourishment, invisible but real. Bare feet on soil, skin in sunlight, eyes open to green, to blue, to open distance. These are not luxuries. They are necessities, soul minerals for a generation starved of stillness. Rest the body in energy-rich places, and you do not only recover, you realign. You return to the version of yourself that does not overthink, does not scramble, does not fear, the version that knows. Come home often. This is not about becoming a recluse, it is about coming home. Whenever you can, return to the forest, the ocean, the hillside, the garden. Let it remind you who you were before the world told you who to be. Even a few minutes will shift your field. Even sitting with a single tree will steady your signal. Even breathing mountain air will wake your inner wisdom. This is not philosophy. It is practice. Not escape, but recalibration. You are nature. When you forget, return. And when you return, remember your power. Chapter Reflection. Which natural places call to you most strongly? How might you fold more time in nature into your days and weeks? Notice how your state of being shifts the moment you step outside. Chapter 10. The Unshakable Knowing. Living from fulfillment, giving from truth. The moment you see yourself clearly. There comes a moment on this path, quiet and yet like thunder, when you see yourself clearly. Not as you were taught to be, not as others perceived you, but as you are. The spirit within the vessel, the creative force behind the mask. And in that moment, something irreversible happens. Once seen, it cannot be unseen. Once known, it cannot be forgotten. You realize that the life you were living was a construct, reactive, conditional, incomplete, and what follows is not chaos, it is clarity. Co-creation becomes rhythm. You remember that your desires are sacred initiations, and that the universe is not ignoring them, but fulfilling them in precise rhythm with your belief and your readiness. As you begin to live in alignment with the field, the unified, intelligent energy moving through all things, your manifestations cease to be random. They become rhythmic, fluid, almost predictable. You move in harmony with your own field, and the outer world echoes it back. You become a clear transmitter, and as the signal strengthens, the matching reality locks in with greater speed. You do not need to control the how. You need only hold the frequency. You are the cause, not the chaser. You come to expect the miraculous, not with arrogance, but with peace. You no longer chase your dreams, you walk within them, not because they fell from the sky, but because your field now carries the resonance of their fulfillment. At first, their arrival feels miraculous, coincidental, overwhelming, divine. Over time, it no longer startles you. It simply confirms what you already knew, marking the close of an energetic loop, an initiation that began in desire, passed through alignment and action, and ended in form. This is spiritual physics in motion. The circuit must stay open. You have become one who not only believes but embodies, and in that embodiment creation becomes a flow rather than a feat, but the loop must remain open. If you receive and never give, the circuit congests. Energy backs up. Flow is lost. You may still create, but it will feel heavy and delayed. Creation was never meant to be hoarded. It was made to be circulated. Each act of contribution completes a circuit. Each gift offered without attachment resets the flow. You are a living conduit. You are not here only to receive. You are here to be a living conduit, and this was not arbitrary. Before you arrived in form, you made agreements, not in ink, but in resonance, not bound by law, but by love. Call them sacred contracts. You agreed to play a part in this unfolding, and you agreed that once your cup was full, you would pour, not because you owe, but because you know. This is also the deeper answer to a question that troubles many on this path. If I create my reality, am I to blame for my suffering? Held rightly, the teaching does not say that. Your circumstances are not a verdict on your worth, and hardship is not proof of failure. Within this cosmology, the contrast you met was, at the level of the soul, part of what you came to move through. Chosen curriculum, not punishment. Your power is not the power to have avoided every difficulty. It is the power to shape your relationship to what comes and to create forward from where you stand. To hold this is to keep both truths at once. You are the cause, and you are not on trial. From that place, compassion for yourself and for everyone still asleep to their own power becomes natural. Your frequency is felt before you speak. Your manifestations are not rewards. They are activations. They wake dormant potential, not only in you, but in everyone who witnesses your transformation. You do not need to preach to serve. You do not need to fix to uplift. You do not need it all figured out to be a light. Your vibration speaks before you do, and your inner state either drains or charges those around you. The infinite loop of becoming. The more you live from wholeness, the more you become a transmitter of possibility, shifting the collective field simply by existing in alignment. And as your reality reshapes around this knowing, your motives evolve. You no longer seek freedom only for yourself. You become a doorway to it for others. You notice that the more you give from truth, the more life expands, that joy multiplies when shared, that clarity sent into the world returns as support, as insight, as sacred relationship. Desire, then alignment, then manifestation, then contribution, then expansion, and with each turn of the wheel, life grows more refined, more pure, more joyful. Expression is the true fulfillment. Eventually, your focus is no longer on what you can get, but on how gracefully you can hold and channel and radiate the divine through you. You did not come only to collect outcomes. You came to express divinity through form. What you manifest is evidence of your alignment. But it was never the end game. The true fulfillment is the expression of the soul in matter. The great transition has already happened. You were once the one who asked. Now you are the one who answers, by how you live, how you love, how you enter a room. You have remembered, and that is enough. You do not need another sign, another book, another teacher. The mirror is clear. The door is open. You are the cause. Now go and live the effect. There is no finish line, only deeper expression. You will not reach a summit and stop. You will become the mountain on which others find refuge. You are source in motion. You are not alone. The field walks with you. It listens. It answers, not in dramatic signs, but in gentle confirmations, in the way the heart softens, in the way the eyes see, in the way peace returns between the moments. You are seen, you are sovereign, you are source in motion. Go create from truth. Chapter Reflection. What does it mean to you to become the mountain on which others find refuge? How has your understanding of manifestation shifted from wanting to get something to wanting to express something? Conclusion. The life that waits. You came to this book as a seeker. You leave it as a source. The transformation you have undergone by reading these pages, and more so by living them, is not temporary. It is permanent. You cannot unknow what you now know about your power, your purpose, and your place in the design. You began by auditing your reality with unflinching honesty. You made contact with the deeper self behind the roles and masks. You learned to tell your true desires from the ones installed in you. You came to understand the matrix, not as your enemy, but as your teacher. You took up the three-realm process of creation and learned to sidestep the pitfalls that derail most people. You received the daily rite of alignment and learned to move by inspired action rather than force. You returned to nature as your reset and finally learned to live as a contribution to the field itself. And above all, you remembered who you are. Your transformation does not end with you. Everyone who embodies conscious creation becomes a beacon for others. Your aligned life gives others permission to align. Your peace makes room for their peace. Your joy reminds them of their own. This is not pressure. It is privilege. You get to be the proof that another way is possible. Conscious creation is not a destination. It is a way of being. There will be days you forget, days you slip into old patterns, days you doubt what you know to be true. Return to the practices in this book. Return to stillness. Return to nature. Return to the truth of who you are. The path does not end. It deepens. The life that waits for you is not the life you imagined when you began. It is richer, more honest, more aligned with your soul's purpose. You are ready to write it. You are ready to live it. You are ready to be it. The world is waiting for your contribution, not for what you can take from it, but for what you can give, not for what you can achieve, but for what you can become. Go now. Create consciously. Live aligned. Express divinely. The life that waits for you is calling. Answer with everything you are. Quick reference. The daily rite of alignment. On waking, write 10 desires. Then list 3 to 5 gratitudes. Then sit for around 20 minutes of meditation and inner vision. Then speak your affirmations aloud. Then write your 5 desire card and carry it, returning to it through the day. Before sleep, rewrite the desires, read them aloud, and see one fulfilled as you drift off. Hold the sequence sacred. Let the timing serve your life. The 3-center test. Mind. Does this make sense? Heart. Do I love this deeply? Gut. Do I feel the fire to begin now? Real desire needs all 3. The 3-realm process. Spiritual. Set the vibration, feel it fulfilled. Mental. Frame the thought, align the beliefs. Physical. Walk it out. Take inspired action. Signs of alignment. Time flows effortlessly. Energy feels abundant. Synchronicities appear. Opportunities open. Inner peace holds. Inspired action feels natural. The reset, when triggered. We are going to a new place. That is only an old version of me. Have no fear. All is well. I am making a new way now. I am the cause, not the effect. I trust. I allow. I hold the state. All is well. We are safe. We are becoming. Principles to remember. You are the broadcaster. Reality is the echo. Desire, alignment, manifestation, contribution, expansion. Move when moved. Seize what appears. Nature is your reset. You are source in motion. The life that waits for you is already here. Step into it. End of book.